Hey friends, it's me, Erin, your friendly neighborhood energy alchemist with today's Schumann resonance report for Tuesday, September the 9th. If you had trouble sleeping last night, you would not be by yourself. I also struggled to sleep last night and spent a lot of last night actually very fitful, I wouldn't say awake, but not really asleep. You know what I'm saying? That kind of in between aggravating state. That's where your girl was all night. When we look at the graph, we can see why. Starting at about, I'd say 11 p.m., maybe 10:30 p.m. Central Time last night and lasting until about 6 a.m. this morning, we had this pretty substantial push of new energy to those upper chakras. Some of it came down a little bit further, maybe even to the heart space, getting a little bit of that energy as well, but it was very concentrated up in that crown, third eye, and throat area. I can even hear it in my throat this morning when I got up. This is just a little bit closer look at that same graph. These little lines of integration have been coming in off and on every couple hours, all day long. Integration helping us to receive the energy we've already gotten. And then last night, again, starting at around 10 p.m. Central Time, maybe 10:30 p.m. Central Time, this push of new energy coming in. It wasn't necessarily intense, meaning it wasn't overwhelming. It was just relatively steady. Had a little bit of a peak right, of course, in the middle of the night. For me, around 2 to 4 a.m. is right when that peak was. So for me, with energy like this, what happens is I have a lot of ideas. My mind is very, very busy. I feel like I need to get up and start 100 projects. I feel like I have all this motivation, and it's not necessarily convenient when I feel like that. Here is our Italian graph for today. We have a little bit of release coming in very, very early in the morning. This would have been around 2 a.m. or so Central Time. Otherwise, it's been relatively quiet. A little bit of release here. That was about 5 a.m. Central Time, and a little bit of the grumbles right down here. This is that release energy that almost always is running in the background. It's grumbles. It's the little triggers that are always kind of bothering you, begging for your attention. This is that energy pushing on that. These little spikes coming up, these are more intense pieces of release. They start from the bottom up, usually in the root, and work their way up. With a halo this size going up to about here, I'd say, we probably got to squeeze all the way up to that heart space at some point. For me, release energy tends to bring up things that I have been worried about, ruminating about, triggers, bring up people into my mind that I haven't thought about, conflicts that are years old. Stuff like that is typically what happens when there's release energy going on, but not always. I was not aware of this release energy. I was much more attuned to the incoming energy. Now, this is a different Italian graph. I don't normally include this one in my reading because I'm not attuned to this graph. I don't know how else to explain it, but when I ask for clarity on this one, I don't get a lot, only when there's light codes coming in. Something I want to show you is the pattern that I'm seeing right here. I see this pattern often before seismic activity, like earthquakes, right? So I am not a predictive psychic, and I am not saying there's going to be an earthquake, but I'm telling you that this graph tends to have this type of pattern when seismic activity is likely, okay? I have no idea where. It doesn't necessarily have to be near Italy. It can be pretty much anywhere. So just keep your eyes open for that. And then we go over to the GCP today. The Global Consciousness Project is yellow. Yellow is kind of like saying today's going to be partly cloudy. There's a little bit of coherence in the energy, but not enough to signal some sort of not enough to be part of the pattern that they're looking for. So if the color I showed you yesterday was green, was like blue skies, green is blue skies, clear skies all day. Yellow is the partly cloudy. There's a little bit of something going on, but not enough to really equal anything specific. Meditation this morning was about reminding me that my intentions when I do something have to be reliant on me and not outside of me. So for example, if you give someone a gift and they don't react in the way you want, you have to be okay with that. Because the intention was you wanted to give them a gift, right? And you did that. Their reaction or reception of the gift is not up to you. And you have no idea where they are, the circumstances they find themselves in, or anything else that has to do with their reaction. So before you assume that it has something to do with you, perhaps give them the benefit of the doubt that maybe they're going through some stuff. So if you're doing things and they're not being received in the way you thought they would be, Take accountability for yourself and stop putting your intentions and your expectations outside of yourself where you have no control. Instead, set your expectation to, my expectation is to give this gift to someone. Your expectation was met, no disappointment. I think it becomes very easy to blame others for a perceived reaction. But really, we are not part of their inner life. We have no idea. So that's the moral for today, is basically stop jumping to conclusions when someone doesn't react the way you want. Take accountability for the fact that you put your expectations in their hands, and that's your problem. So learning to not do that is important. Learning to have the expectation, I'm going to give this gift and that's going to make me happy. End of expectations. That's where you win. All right, here are the collective cards for today. My guides are saying that the Wheel of Fortune has spun around in our favor and the winds of change are coming in our direction to bring forward the idea of an ineffective team that's been around us. This feels like an exposure. This feels like things coming to the surface, hidden truths, that sort of thing. This ineffective team has caused us to have haste and youthful emotions around our lives, feeling like we are out of control and we are not the ones who are doing things. We are not in control of things, making us feel at the mercy of someone else. As we confront these things, they may not be easy, but they do open us up to new horizons where we can sail off to a place we've never been before. Perhaps that's the feeling of being in control of your own life. This is where we will find that feeling of inner peace and the idea that our dreams and desires are much closer at hand than we might expect. Look at that beautiful sunshine. Man, it's going to be a beautiful day here in Illinois. I'm ready to start my day. Are you ready to start yours? All right, take a nice big deep breath in all the way down to your toes. And release. Drop those shoulders and just remind yourself that today is a great day. It's just getting started. That beautiful sun has space for you too, friend. Go outside and put your face in the sun today. Soak some of that energy up. Remind yourself that you are a living, breathing being, that you deserve to be on this planet and you deserve to be happy. Because today's a great day. It's a great day, friends. Great day.